So in this video, we're going to be collecting data for the iodine clock reaction. The first experiment in part A involves 10 milliliters of solution A and 10 milliliters of solution B. All right, we're all set.
So I just pour
B into A and back, and then just set it on the thing.
and then,
Actually, you can just pour B into A, swirl it, and hit start.
okay.
Yeah. Pour it in, hit start, swirl it. Perfect. That was very quick. In experiment number 2, we're going to be using 9 milliliters of A, 1 milliliter of water, and 10 milliliters of solution B. Vervina will pour B into A. As soon as she pours, start your stopwatch. As soon as it turns black, stop your stopwatch. All right, in experiment number 3, we're using 8 milliliters of A, 2 milliliters of water, and 10 milliliters of B. When we pour, start the stopwatch. When it turns black, stop your stopwatch. All right, in experiment number 4, we have 7 milliliters of A, 3 milliliters of water, and 10 milliliters of B. Start when we mix, stop when it turns black. Experiment 5, 6 milliliters of A, 4 milliliters of water, 10 milliliters of B. Start. In experiment 6, we have 5 milliliters of A, 5 milliliters of water, and 5 milliliters of B. Start. If you didn't notice in the last experiment, it kind of looked like the color change was a little bit more gradual, not so instantaneous. It turned bluish around the edges first before it turned totally black. Okay, the last experiment for part A, we're going to use 4 milliliters of A, 6 milliliters of water, and 10 milliliters of solution B. Start. Again, that one sort of did a more gradual color change before it completely changed. Make sure you take this opportunity after viewing those 7 experiments to record some qualitative data. So we're moving on now to part B of the lab. Right now, our 2 test tubes are cooling in an ice bath. One test tube contains 10 milliliters of solution A. The other test tube contains 10 milliliters of solution B. We have a thermometer in solution B. When the temperature of solution B reaches our target temperature, we will mix and time. Test tubes A and B are now at 5.5 degrees Celsius. Ravina is going to pour B into A, at which point you start your stopwatch, and then you stop the stopwatch when you see the color change. So now we're pouring B into A. Keep it in the water as much as you can, but yeah. So we're trying to keep it right around 5.5 degrees Celsius while we're waiting for the color change and still make it visible on the screen. Okay. Our next experiment is going to be at 10.0 degrees. Again, we have 10 milliliters of A, 10 milliliters of B, and Ravina is going to combine them. You'll start your timer and stop when you see the color change. Start the timer. Okay. Awesome. Again, we're trying to keep this at about 10 degrees during the experiment by leaving it in the ice bath. Again, you saw that nice gradual change as it worked its way through the entire solution. Our third experiment is at 20 degrees Celsius. Again, 10 milliliters of A, 10 milliliters of B. Start your stopwatch when Ravina pours B into A. Stop when you see the color change. No, it's fine. Thank you. All right. All right, in this experiment, we are warming the solutions A and B in a hot water bath, trying to bring them up to the next temperature. What temperature is that? That's okay.
It's at like 42. Let's keep going. Keep going.
That's okay. We'll let it get to the temperature we want it to. There's no rush. Okay. The next experiment we're going to do is we're aiming for something around 35. So we're just adjusting the bath right now to try to get it close to that temperature. This is sometimes is a little bit tricky trying to get our temperatures to work out, but it is going down to where we want it. So what temperature do we have there?
It's at 34.
34.0 degrees Celsius. Oops. Okay. All right, go ahead. We'll mix it right here in the test tube rat. So let me adjust our angle a little bit so you can clearly see. Okay, so she is adding. Start your stopwatch. And stop your stopwatch. That was a quick one. All right, and our last temperature experiment. So what temperature are we at here?
About
49, okay, 49 degrees Celsius. Oops, nowhere to put that thing so people can see it. Okay, 49 degrees Celsius. So go ahead and Ravina will mix. Start. And stop. It's another quick one. Same, right? Okay, so that covers the data for part B. Okay, the next step is to do the calculations in your table and start thinking about graphing. Be sure to record qualitative observations for everything that you've seen in both parts of the experiment.